What if I told you there's a frequency that can resonate with the deepest parts of your being? A vibration that not only awakens your spirit but can also unlock doors to endless abundance. This isn't magic. It's about the forgotten harmony between you and the universe. 999 hertz. Does that sound familiar? Maybe not yet, but that number holds an ancient secret. The golden vibration of supreme consciousness, the tone that helps the soul remember its true, creative essence. Since ancient times, wise people have said sound connects us to the invisible. In Egypt, they believed the universe was born from the word. In India, the carried the original vibration. And today, as we reconnect spiritually, certain frequencies stand out as keys to higher vibration. The 999 hertz frequency isn't just any tone, it's the crown jewel of the expanded solfeggio scale, a channel for divine energy right here, right now. This video isn't just a technical deep dive or a surface-level look at a mystical number. It's an invitation to explore how you can raise your vibration to levels you might have thought were out of reach. How do you tune your energy with the universe? Shift from wanting to manifest miracles, from lack to creation, all through the hidden power of sound. Ever notice how some people seem to attract opportunities, well-being, and peace like magnets? What if it's because of the frequency they choose to hold in their consciousness? Today, you'll discover how the 999 frequency can become your strongest ally for inner transformation and outward growth. Throughout this video, we'll dive into the history and spiritual meaning of this frequency, where it fits in the human energy spectrum, how you can use it consciously to activate your higher auric field, and how it connects to creating miracles. You'll learn that miracles aren't random luck, but natural responses to vibrations aligned with the universe's core. Get ready to feel more than just understand, to remember more than learn, because hidden in this golden frequency is a simple but powerful truth. Abundance isn't something you attract. It's something you remember and vibrate into being. The idea that the universe is made of vibrations isn't some modern or new age idea. It's an ancient truth, whispered by sages, carved in stone, and sung in sacred languages. Today, 999 hertz is linked to conscious manifestation, spiritual unity, and deep transformation. But it's really the peak of an old understanding. Everything starts as sound before it becomes form. In the oldest mystical teachings, sound was the foundation of everything. The Hindus called it Nada Brahma, sound as God. For them, the universe was created not from matter, but from vibration. In ancient Egypt, Thoth, the god of wisdom and language, wrote not with ink, but with vibrational energy. And in Hebrew Kabbalah, each letter was a living frequency, an energetic code bringing order to chaos. Even in ancient Greece, Pythagoras wasn't just a mathematician, he was a musician of the invisible. He taught that the human soul was like a stringed instrument, and every emotion, thought, or action was a note vibrating in the grand cosmic symphony. His idea of the music of the spheres described planets sending out subtle, harmonious frequencies, too quiet for the ear but deeply felt in the soul. The 999 frequency, though not called that in these traditions, can be seen as a modern expression of Pythagorean, tantric, and esoteric wisdom. It marks the final stage of a spiritual journey, the soul's vibration after it shed all ego layers and returned to its source, unity with the divine. Numerically, 999 is powerful. In many cultures, 9 symbolizes completion, the closing of cycles, and transcendence. Multiply that by 3 and you get a symbol of spiritual perfection, a vibration where what you want and who you are become one. 9 cubed isn't just a frequency, it's the vibrational archetype of mastery, expanded awareness, and a soul that knows itself as a creator. In spiritual alchemy, this is called the great work completed, when ignorance has been transformed into wisdom. The 999 frequency works on that same principle, a vibration that helps release the old self and brings forth a divinely aligned being. In Christian mysticism, 999 is sometimes seen as the upside-down version of 666, the number linked to material attachment. While 666 represents getting stuck in the physical world and the illusion of separation, 999 is its redemption, the light overcoming darkness, the spirit waking from sleep. So when we talk about listening to or meditating with this frequency, it's not just a passing trend, it's a modern way to tap into the same spiritual forces that inspired ancient sages to chant mantras, sing psalms, or recite sacred names. It's a soul technology, a vibrational tool, reminding consciousness of its divine design. People who vibrate at 999 hertz don't run away from the world, they transform it. They don't reject matter, they honor it. They don't wait for miracles as gifts, they create them naturally through their aligned vibration. Because as the ancients taught, you don't have to shout to be heard by the universe. You just need to vibrate in harmony with it. And if we want to create miracles through a frequency like 999, we first have to let go of a big misconception that miracles are rare, random events only for a chosen few. That belief is exactly what blocks real spiritual power. In reality, a miracle is simply the natural outcome of a consciousness that's aligned with its original design. And that alignment isn't something you force. It happens through sustained vibration. The 999 frequency isn't like flipping a switch to turn on the divine. It's more like a harmonic current that resonates with the highest part of who you are and brings that energy into the physical world. Picture this. Inside you is a crystal tower made up of different levels, each level representing a center of consciousness, whether physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. But this crystal is covered in dust, past experiences, traumas, and false ideas about who you are and what you deserve. When you're vibrating at low frequencies like fear, scarcity, or separation, it's like being stuck on the lower floors of that tower. The 999 frequency, on the other hand, starts to resonate with the higher levels, the upper chambers of your inner temple. Gradually, that vibration flows through your whole energetic body like a golden fire, breaking down the accumulated dust. It doesn't force you to rise. It gently reminds you to. It doesn't manipulate matter, it inspires it. Here's the first key thing to understand. Sound isn't just something you hear, it's something you feel and live in. When you expose yourself to 999 hertz, especially in meditation, your aura begins to reorganize. Thoughts that don't match this vibration start to fade away. Heavy emotions lose their weight, and you'll notice more synchronicities, like the universe is answering you with incredible speed. This doesn't happen because the universe changes. It happens because you've switched to a higher frequency. You've tuned into a new level of reality. The 999 frequency is linked to the crown chakra, the 1,000-petaled lotus at the top of your head, which in spiritual traditions is the gateway to the divine. When this chakra vibrates in harmony with the energy of your heart, it creates an electromagnetic field so powerful, it literally reshapes the reality around you. Think of it this way. If you were an antenna tuned to the usual daily frequencies, doubts, worries, unmet desires, your signal is full of static. But when you tune into 999 hertz, it's like switching to a clear cosmic station. No interference, no contradictions, and that clarity sends out a powerful message to the quantum field. You don't need to know exactly how the miracle will unfold. You just need to stay in sync with it, because matter, as ancient alchemists said, always follows spirit. So the first step to creating miracles isn't asking, wishing, or begging. It's raising your frequency to the point where the miracle is already happening. That frequency has a name: 999 hertz. One of the biggest paradoxes on the spiritual path is that it's not about gaining something new, but remembering what you already are. In that way, 999 doesn't change the world. It reveals you as the creator of the world you live in. And that revelation happens when your soul has cycled through enough forgetfulness to finally turn toward the light of its origin. In sacred numerology, 999 is the number of return. It marks the final closing of a chapter, but not just any closing. It's a conclusion filled with wisdom, an ending that doesn't hurt because it's been fully understood, integrated, and blessed. That's how this frequency works in your vibration. It lets the old self, the one that doubted, asked, begged for miracles, fade away, giving birth to the radiant self connected directly to the creative source. How does it do this? Through resonance. Everything in the universe responds to its match. If you put out scarcity, you get scarcity back. If you vibrate from inner fullness, the universe reflects abundance. This frequency doesn't attract things by itself. It awakens the part of you where those things already exist. That's the key difference. It's not about the frequency giving you something new. It's about aligning you with the part of you that already has everything. Listening to or meditating with 999 hertz is like sitting in front of a mirror that reflects your expanded soul, showing you what was hidden behind the fog of the ego. A common mistake people make with these frequencies is treating them like magic pills, playing them while doing other things, expecting quick results without focus, or mixing them without really understanding. But 999 demands pure intention and quiet receptivity. It's not just about hearing it, it's about listening with your whole being. And here's an important point. Working with 999 is much more powerful when combined with conscious breathing, golden visualization, and anticipatory gratitude. Gratitude here isn't forced, it's a vibration you hold before the miracle happens. It's like telling the universe, I already know it's done. That certainty is the master key. In deep connection with this frequency, many report mystical experiences, a warmth at the crown, visions of golden light flowing down the spine, sudden synchronicities in daily life, unexpected solutions showing up effortlessly. These aren't external signs of success, they're proof that your vibrational field has shifted. There's also a less talked about side effect: purification. When you expose yourself to such a high frequency, anything that doesn't match it, limiting beliefs, stuck emotions, old wounds, tends to surface. This energetic cleansing can be uncomfortable, but it's sacred. It's the soul clearing space to grow. So don't run away if you find yourself crying, feeling stirred up, or facing old memories. Welcome the golden fire that burns away the old so you can be reborn. The miracle, then, isn't about what happens outside. It's the vibrational change happening inside. The 999 frequency doesn't create for you. It awakens your inner creator, and that creator acts not from fear, but from love. It doesn't need to force abundance because it already knows abundance is its natural state. Understanding the 999 frequency isn't enough. You've got to live it, make it part of how you show up in the world. It's not just a sound you play now and then. It's a steady vibration, a daily practice, a discipline of the soul. But how do you do that in the middle of all the noise out there? How do you tap into infinite abundance without falling into the trap of thinking it all depends on outside effort? First, create moments of sacred silence. High frequencies don't crash into chaos. They need space to grow. Just like a seed won't sprout on a rock, the golden vibration can only take root in the fertile ground of stillness. Take at least 5 minutes every day to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and set a clear intention. I'm tuning into my highest frequency. That intention is like an antenna that pulls everything towards you. Second, make gratitude your baseline, not fake or automatic, but a real feeling of thanks, even when there's no obvious reason to be grateful. That kind of gratitude sparks transformation because it's a vibration of trust. Thank you because it's already done. The 999 frequency responds to people who live as if the miracle has already happened. Third, disconnect from what doesn't match your vibration. This doesn't mean shutting out the world, but choosing where you put your energy. News that feeds fear, conversations filled with complaints, habits that make you forget your power. These all lower your vibration and work against your energetic growth. Remember, every choice is a vibrational message. What are you putting out there daily? Fourth, treat your body like a temple of light. The 999 frequency works stronger when your physical vessel is clear. It's not about being perfect, but about being in harmony, drinking clean water, eating nourishing foods, and getting mindful rest. Your body is your instrument. If it's out of tune, your soul's song can't be heard. Fifth, and very importantly, act from vision, not need. Once you've tuned into the frequency, don't stop to wait for results. Move as if they're already here. Speak like you already have what you want. Love like there's no lack. The universe responds to certainty, not doubt. Finally, and maybe most powerfully, share your vibration. The 999 frequency multiplies when shared with love. Be a light in the confusion. Listen deeply, speak from your core, inspire by example. Every positive act strengthens your energy and expands your reality. Remember, you're not just attracting miracles, you are the miracle. And that changes everything. When you start to see that reality isn't something forced on you, but something you emit, something inside shifts quietly, as if the atoms of your consciousness wake up and remember the soul's forgotten language. That language isn't words, it's vibration. And in that secret language, 999 Hertz speaks an ancient truth. You're not chasing miracles. You're the source they come from. What we've shared here isn't just info, it's activation. You may have heard about the power of sound, the symbolism of the number 9, 9 new, and its energetic link to the highest human potential. But beyond ideas, there's something only you can truly feel, because the golden frequency isn't taught, it's awakened, and that awakening is a deeply personal, intimate, sacred journey. We live in a world that constantly pulls us in a million directions. News, chores, worries, all designed to disconnect you from your center. But if there's one thing the 999 Hertz vibration teaches us, it's that infinite abundance only exists in the conscious, elevated, present moment. There are no miracles outside the soul's frequency. So when you choose to tune into this vibration, you're not just trying another technique. You're choosing to step back into your divinity. You're saying you no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstance, but as a consciousness capable of resonating with the highest levels of existence. And that small moment of alignment holds more power than 1,000 desperate prayers, because you're not asking from lack. You're declaring from wholeness. As we wrap up, I want you to remember this. The 999 Hertz frequency isn't found in speakers or headphones, not even in sound waves. It's inside you, in every elevated thought, every decision made with love, every grateful feeling. It's the pulse of your soul when it stops vibrating in survival and starts vibrating in creation. The real miracle is this: when you no longer feel the need to prove anything, when you don't wait for the world to change to find peace, when you realize the greatest miracle is living fully aligned with your luminous self. So now, I invite you to make this frequency your daily practice. Listen to it, yes, but more than that, live it. Make your body its temple, your words its echo, your life its expression. And if this message resonates with you, don't leave it here. Subscribe, like, and share this video with those ready to remember their power, because every soul that raises its frequency lifts the whole world. See you on the next journey. Have you ever noticed a whisper inside you that doesn't come from your mind or your heart? It's a gentle pulse, a subtle vibration coming from deep inside your skull, like a tiny star quietly resting among your thoughts. That whisper isn't just your imagination. It's the call of a forgotten part of your body, the pineal gland. For centuries, ancient cultures, mystics, and alchemists have understood that the human body is more than just flesh and bones. It's an energetic system built for something greater. On this hidden map, the pineal gland plays a key role, not just as an endocrine gland, but as a kind of spiritual antenna, a bridge between the seen and unseen. It's the eye of inner vision, the place where the soul breathes and the body remembers. But beyond the mystical side, there's an even deeper truth that's been quietly passed down through ancient temples and sacred texts. When the pineal gland activates, the body's own healing powers come alive. Healing isn't just fixing damage, it's returning to your original state, and that state comes from within, from the electromagnetic field you create when your intention, breath, and awareness line up. In this video, we'll dive into that mystery. We'll explore why the pineal gland is way more than a physical organ, and how waking up its vibrational power can directly impact your health, emotions, and even your destiny. We'll look at how your body's magnetic field, the invisible halo around you, reshapes itself when the pineal and the heart sync up. You'll learn how simple practices like breathwork, visualization, and focused intention can open this inner gateway. Come with me on this journey where science meets spirituality, where your body becomes a temple, and where the fire of your soul ignites from the very center of your mind. Because there's no path more powerful than the one you take inward. At the end of that path waits an ancient eye, always watching and waiting for you to awaken it. Since the dawn of time, people have sensed there's more inside than just flesh, bones, and thoughts. Sometimes, without really knowing why, we feel there's a portal deep in our skull, a spiritual lens that connects different worlds. That feeling wasn't random. Ancient civilizations didn't just honor the pineal gland. They saw it as a divine tool for perception, vision, and healing. In Egypt, temple initiates knew awakening started right in the center of the brain. The Eye of Horus symbol wasn't just decoration. It mirrors the shape of the pineal gland and its links to other brain parts. For them, this eye looked inward, toward the soul. In ancient India, the rishis talked about the Ajna chakra, also called the third eye, located between the brows but rooted energetically in the pineal gland. This chakra was known as the seat of intuition, wisdom, and the ability to see beyond illusion. Practices like Trataka, where you gaze steadily at a flame without blinking, and deep breathwork and meditation were designed to activate this gland. Plato called the pineal the organ of inner vision, describing the soul as something that looks through it to remember eternal truths. Later, René Descartes, from a more scientific view, called it the seat of the soul, thinking it was where the material and immaterial meet. It's no accident that so many traditions focus on this gland. The pineal is one of the few organs without a fully understood biological role. Science knows it produces melatonin, sure, but its crystal-like structure and heavy blood supply hint at something more. It's like an energy converter, a biological antenna that tunes into realities beyond the ordinary. Here's the key connection. The pineal only activates when the body's magnetic field is in sync. When the heart beats in harmony, intention is clear, and vital energy, whether you call it prana, chi, or kundalini, flows freely. Then the pineal picks up the signal and not only opens your inner vision but also heals your whole body. Ancient mystery schools got this. Their rituals, chants, and symbols prepared the body temple for awakening. Activating the pineal wasn't just a brief experience, it was a complete rebirth of the self. And that rebirth is possible for you right now. Imagine your body as a sacred temple. Every part has symbolic, energetic, and spiritual meaning, but one spot stands out, the silent apex, the secret dome from which your soul watches life. The pineal gland isn't just any gland, it's a biological prism that turns electrical signals into inner light and vice versa. Modern science sees the pineal as the regulator of your sleep cycle through melatonin, but that's just the surface. Inside, it contains tiny hydroxyapatite crystals, structures that generate electric currents when pressured or vibrated. Mystics call it an internal crystal, like quartz, right at the brain's center. This isn't just poetic, it's sacred anatomy. So how does this gland affect healing? That's where the human magnetic field comes in. Our bodies generate not only a physical but an electromagnetic field, especially strong around the heart. When this field is balanced, when emotions, thoughts, and energy flow smoothly, it creates an organized pattern that can affect matter itself. When the pineal switches on, it boosts this field, like flipping on a high-frequency generator that resets the vibration of your entire body. At its core, disease is really just a vibrational imbalance, an area where energy has gotten stuck, twisted, or gone off its natural path. So, by activating the pineal gland and syncing up the heart's coherent field, we kickstart a recalibration process. Have you ever noticed that after a deep meditation, a vivid dream, or a powerful spiritual experience, your body feels lighter, clearer, even healthier? That's not just in your head, it's an actual energetic shift where the pineal acts like a conductor, bringing everything into resonance. Think of it like tuning a musical instrument. If a string is off, the sound is harsh. But once you adjust the tension and vibration, the music flows smoothly. The same thing happens with your cells, tissues, organs, and emotions. The pineal doesn't heal by itself. It harmonizes the energy that allows your body to heal itself. And you don't need any fancy gadgets. This all happens through internal practices like conscious breathing, visualization, and focused intention. When you breathe while focusing your attention on your brow, or visualize a gentle light activating the center of your head, you're stimulating the pineal. If you add genuine feelings of gratitude and love, your magnetic field expands and becomes more coherent. And in that state, your body responds, aligns, and regenerates. There's no magic formula here. You just have to remember your original design. The human body was built with its own healing tools, and the pineal is one of the most powerful. Working with it is like flipping the master switch for your body's energy system. Coming up, we'll get into how to put all this into practice, the methods, the experiences, and the challenges you might face when you decide to wake up this sleeping jewel inside you. Awakening the pineal isn't like pushing a button. It's more like lighting a sacred fire in an inner temple that's been dim for years. It takes presence, clear intention, and understanding what you're actually activating. Because when the pineal wakes up, it doesn't just help you see the soul. It makes your whole body come alive. For many, the journey begins with the breath. Conscious breathing, especially when you focus on the brow and the back of the skull, helps the life force energy, or prana, flow toward the pineal. But this isn't just any breath, it's a breath that listens, that flows with intention, that opens rather than forces. A simple but powerful technique is to imagine a sphere of golden or violet light, breathing with you at the center of your head. With every inhale, the sphere expands. With every exhale, it shines brighter. If you practice this regularly and with commitment, you'll start to feel a new sensitivity, as if your body is remembering a language it forgot. Sound is another powerful tool. Certain frequencies like 963 Hertz or harmonic chants can make the pineal's crystal structures vibrate. Listening to these sounds in meditation, with your eyes closed and focus sharp, can bring spontaneous moments of activation, flashes of light inside, archetypal visions, or even a feeling of expanded time and space. But there are challenges too. Awakening the pineal doesn't just open doors of light, it also shines a light on your shadows. As your awareness grows, emotions, wounds, and limiting beliefs surface, not as punishment but as chances to clear and heal. True pineal awakening isn't about escaping reality, it's about integrating it deeply. Many people feel confused when they start experiencing emotions or perceptions more intensely after activating the pineal. That's not a mistake, it's a sign you're becoming more sensitive. The soul starts noticing the hidden threads of its story. That's when the heart's magnetic field becomes critical. Only a heart in coherence can hold the fire that the pineal reveals. So every practice needs to be grounded in the body. Spiritual awakening without grounding can be shaky. Mindful eating, walking barefoot, spending time in nature, and cultivating silence are ways to help the body adjust to the energetic shifts this gland brings. The body needs to feel safe to open that door, and when it does, something amazing happens. Your immune system gets stronger, digestion settles, sleep improves, emotions soften, and your mind calms down, because healing happens through resonance, not force. The pineal, when fully alive, is the conductor of that inner harmony. In the end, the pineal gland isn't a destination, it's a path toward deeper, fuller, more authentic consciousness. It's the eye through which the soul sees and the heart remembers. Awakening the pineal isn't just a one-time mystical moment during meditation or a retreat. Real transformation starts when you bring that awakening into everyday life, making it a rhythm in your actions, words, and silences. An active pineal doesn't run away from the world, it transforms it at the root. The first piece of advice is to keep up constant energetic hygiene. Just like you take care of your body with food and cleanliness, you have to protect your electromagnetic field too. Avoid overexposure to chaotic news, invasive technology, and toxic emotional environments. The pineal is delicate like a night-blooming flower that only opens under the right conditions. Your environment needs to be a high-vibration sanctuary. Daily conscious breathing is a master key. Just a few minutes when you wake up or before bed. Close your eyes, focus on your brow, and breathe slowly. Picture a bright light at the center of your head, growing with each inhale and settling with each exhale. This simple practice can fine-tune your energy and calm your nervous system. Another important tip is vibrational nutrition. The pineal gland clearly responds to what we put into our bodies. Fresh, living foods packed with life force energy support its activation, while too much sugar, refined flour, and processed foods can dull its sensitivity. Gradually cutting out fluoride from water and toothpaste has also been suggested as a way to help decalcify this center. Also, keep your body moving, not necessarily through intense workouts, but through practices that connect with subtle energy like yoga, qigong, conscious dance, or walks in nature. Your body is the temple where the pineal can truly shine. If that temple is closed or neglected, the light can't get in. A big part of this is training your attention. We live in a world full of distractions where the mind bounces from one thing to the next. But the pineal only lights up with focus. Cultivate simple contemplative practices. Stare at a candle flame. Listen to mindful music with your eyes closed, or just sit quietly and watch the sky. These moments ground your energy and prepare you for inner growth. And maybe most importantly, live with sacred intention. It doesn't matter if you're cooking, talking to someone, or working. When you act with presence and meaning, every action becomes an energetic prayer. The pineal doesn't awaken from techniques alone. It wakes up when life itself becomes ritual, when every gesture feeds your consciousness like a flame. Remember, true pineal awakening doesn't pull you away from the world. It brings you back to it with fresh eyes, clearer, more compassionate, more radiant. We've traveled the hidden pathways inside the human body, crossing that secret bridge between the physical and the vast soul. The pineal gland isn't some spiritual fantasy or luxury. It's a living tool, a quiet flame waiting to be noticed. True healing doesn't start in a hospital or with a pill. It starts in that intimate moment when you decide to remember who you really are. The pineal is more than an organ. It's an internal altar, an eye of light, hidden deep within your being. When it wakes up, you don't just see more clearly. You see yourself without distortion, and that clarity is pure healing. Because when the soul recognizes itself, the body follows, beginning to realign, heal, and bloom. We've talked about its role in ancient cultures, the power of breath and intention, and how coherence between the heart, electromagnetic field, and consciousness can relight that inner beacon. And above all, how awakening the pineal is not just a one-time event, but a way of life. To live from the pineal is to live from sacred presence. But the journey doesn't end here, it actually begins. There's no ritual more powerful than consistency, no deeper healing than what grows from within. Practice is the bridge between knowing and becoming. What you've heard today isn't empty theory, it's a seed. And like any seed, it needs care, intention, and fertile ground to grow. So I invite you to commit to yourself. Start seeing your life as if you're already looking through that inner eye. What would change in your words, your choices, and your feelings if you knew that every breath could activate a healing energy field inside you? You don't have to wait for a miracle. You are the miracle, and the pineal gland is the altar where that miracle is remembered. If this message has touched you, if something inside you resonated as you listened, keep exploring. Make every day a sacred lab. Integrate what you've learned, share it with fellow seekers, and above all, stay awake. Once your consciousness is activated, it never fully goes back to sleep. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If you feel this message could help someone else, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep sharing these ancient teachings that live on in our spiritual DNA. Until next time, traveler of the light. It's not a mantra, not a complicated ritual, and it doesn't take years of practice. It's an ancient gesture, simple and direct, yet as deep as the echoes of creation. It involves gently tapping your chest, right in the center over the sternum, where a small gland lies mostly forgotten by modern science, but honored by traditional initiations. The thymus. Doing this 1,000 times isn't about mindless repetition. It's a practice of power. It's a physical vibration that reaches into the unseen. By tapping that spot with focus and rhythm, you start to awaken your highest energy, not like an uncontrolled burst, but like an underground river breaking through rock and flowing freely. Most people get stuck in their heads, distracted, scattered. Their vital energy is spread thin, locked in autopilot routines. But you're not here for that. You've come to this message because a part of you wants to reconnect with the body's language as a sacred tool. In this video, we'll explore something that might sound unbelievable, but is as real as your breath. How gently tapping your thymus 1,000 times with care and intention can activate your energy fields, unlock your nervous system, and reprogram your subconscious. This practice is linked to ancient mystical traditions that viewed the body as a temple and every movement as a form of alchemy. How this simple act can become a kind of physical prayer, a devotion that shifts your vibration without saying a word. But this isn't a medical video. We're not just talking about the thymus as a gland. We're talking about it as a gateway between worlds, like the soul's drum that answers when called. Each tap is a key, each repetition a chant. You don't have to believe it, you just have to do it, feel it, and keep going. So open your heart, let go of doubt, and let this simple motion become your gateway to an energy that's been inside you all along. 1,000 taps, one transformation. Welcome to the practice that turns the body into prayer and rhythm into power. Since the dawn of time, the wise people of the oldest cultures knew something modern science is only beginning to understand. The body isn't just flesh, it's symbol, antenna, and channel. It's not a passive container for the soul, but an active bridge between what's seen and unseen. Inside the body, there are spots that act like doors. One of these, probably the most overlooked today, is the center of the chest. In ancient Egypt, priests used ritual staffs to touch specific points on the body during ceremonies. One of those points was right in the middle of the chest, where later the thymus gland would be identified. The Egyptians didn't call it the thymus, of course, but they knew that by stimulating that area with rhythm and reverence, the soul would respond. The body would shift frequency, and something deep inside would open. In Vedic India, this spot is called Anahata, the fourth chakra, the center of love, truth, and vibration, untouched by conflict. It's the subtle sound. Interestingly, Anahata is also linked to air, rhythm, and a kind of energy that moves not by words, but by bodily resonance. When you stimulate that region, the compassionate soul wakes up, blocked emotions are cleared, and a bridge forms between higher mind and heart's will. In South American shamanic traditions, cleansing rituals included rhythmic slaps on certain body points, paired with chants. The chest center was key, not hit hard, but tapped with vibrational intention in time with the drum, as if tuning the body itself. Among Tibetan monks, practices like Tsalung and Trul Kor, energetic yoga systems, included precise chest movements and taps with accompanying mantras. These weren't just physical exercises, but sacred practices to open internal channels, break heavy patterns, and let vital energy flow freely. Across these cultures, we see the same theme: the body as a spiritual instrument, and within it, the energetic heart, the thymus, as a sacred drum that can be awakened, tuned, and used as an inner oracle. Modern science links the thymus to the immune system and notes it shrinks with age. But spiritual traditions add something deeper. When the soul dims, the thymus sleeps. When the soul ignites, the thymus wakes. One way to wake it is through gentle, conscious tapping. A call, a code, 1,000 times, like war drums announcing a new self, like ancient chants echoing inside your inner temple. This isn't just a movement, but an ancient gesture, a remembering of the lost language between body and spirit. In a world that worships the mind and dismisses the body, any physical act with spiritual intention might seem strange or even crazy. But anyone who's felt that inner vibration after a conscious movement knows there's ancient wisdom encoded in flesh, bone, and vibration. Tapping your chest softly 1,000 times with focus and rhythm isn't superstition, it's a powerful technique. A key that, when used right, can break mental patterns, open energetic flows, and rewrite the hidden language of your subconscious. Why? Let's start with the thymus gland, just behind the sternum. Biologically, it helps mature T cells, essential for the immune system. That's where science stops. But in spiritual terms, the thymus is much more. It's the sanctuary of vital energy, a gland that vibrates with our subtlest emotions. When we're sad, the thymus contracts. When hopeful, it expands. It's like a spiritual sensor, a thermometer of the soul. Most importantly, it responds to rhythmic touch, like a shaman's drum, not because it enjoys being tapped, but because rhythm wakes it up. The 1,000 taps isn't random. In many mystical traditions, 1,000 symbolizes the sacred repeated until fully absorbed. In alchemy, it means full transformation. In Buddhist meditation, mantras and visualizations are repeated thousands of times to break ego inertia and create new pathways of awareness. Tapping the chest 1,000 times is a kind of bodily alchemy, and that's where the second part comes in. The energetic field. The heart, both physically and energetically, is the area of strongest electromagnetic charge in the human body. Tapping the thymus in that same spot creates tiny vibrations that ripple through the autonomic nervous system, especially the vagus nerve, which connects directly to the heart, brain, and gut. In other words, it's a bridge between emotion, thought, and action. These vibrations trigger an internal reset. The brain starts to recognize the movement as a steady pattern, and finding no obvious external cause, it relaxes and opens up. The doors to the subconscious swing wide. You enter a threshold where logic steps back and symbolism takes the lead. This is where the tapping becomes reprogramming. Each tap is a silent affirmation, each repetition a vibrational command. Wake up, reconnect, remember. And something deeper happens. The body, which too often has been an instrument of repression or autopilot, now becomes the priest of its own temple. With every touch, skin, bone, and rhythm come together in a symphony, a prayer without words. This gesture doesn't need thinking, it needs presence. It's not the number that transforms you, but the devotion behind it. 1,000 taps done without care do nothing. But 1,000 taps done with respect, attention, and pure intention can break stuck life patterns, uncover buried trauma, and plant new energetic programming. Here, the hidden power of the physical shows itself. The body stops being a prison and becomes ritual, a ritual of strength, vibration, and release. And there's more. When practiced consistently, this movement creates effects beyond the body. But to understand that, we have to go deeper. At some point, repeating this gesture, tapping the chest gently and intentionally 1,000 times, starts to go beyond the physical. What seemed like a simple body movement turns into an act of power that can influence your energy field, your environment, and your deepest mental states. This is the threshold where movement becomes magic. Remember, the universe doesn't respond to words, but to vibration. It isn't moved by empty prayers, but by coherent frequency. And vibration isn't just sound. Repeated movement done with focused intention is embodied vibration. Each tap on your chest, when mindful, sends a subtle wave through your energetic system like a bell being struck. These waves don't stop at the skin. They travel along energy pathways, pass through your aura layers, and fine-tune your personal vibration to a new pattern. And here something extraordinary happens. Your energy field begins to shift. Those who've practiced this for days, weeks, or full lunar cycles report experiences like feeling their energy expand, changes in time perception, clearer emotions, more vivid dreams, and even synchronicities in daily life. Why? Because as ancient spiritual schools teach, these practices don't just work on the body but on the code behind the reality you experience. When you tap your chest with high intention, you're not just rewiring your nervous system or activating your thymus. You're breaking down personal morphic fields, those repetitive thought-emotion loops that trap you, clearing psychic baggage that psychology alone can't shift, but vibration can. You're updating your personal quantum field because your vibration sets your resonance, and your resonance attracts matching experiences. Practically, you'll notice certain people or situations no longer fit in your life. It's not them changing, it's that you're no longer on the same frequency. By activating the thymus, you awaken your spiritual radar, a compass that filters out what doesn't align with your deepest truth. And one of the biggest effects is internal coherence becoming irresistible. You can't lie to yourself anymore. You can't act out of obligation without feeling empty. Your body starts rejecting you when you betray your essence, because your instrument has been finely tuned. The drum of your chest is synced to a higher rhythm. Many traditions say when the heart beats in tune with the heavens, the world answers back. This isn't poetry, it's energetic physics. The harmony between thymus, heart, intention, and mind creates a vibrational wave so pure it starts to order your surrounding reality. It's like changing the background music of your life. Everything out of sync with that new rhythm fades away. But be careful, this isn't an escape or a way to control the world. It's an act of reverence. You don't tap your chest to manipulate life. You do it to remember who you are beyond it. And by remembering, all that's false begins to dissolve. Thousands of times a day, and little by little, the world you knew dies to make space for a new one. More aligned, more yours, more real. A world where the heart isn't just an organ, but a throne, and the thymus, its sacred drum. One of the most powerful lessons from this practice is simple and revolutionary. You don't need intellectual understanding to transform your energy. We're trapped in the idea that only what we understand with our minds really matters. But the soul, as ancient wisdom teaches, responds not to analysis but to vibrational presence. Tapping your chest 1,000 times a day might sound extreme, unnecessary, or even weird until you try it with intention. Until you notice some days you tap distractedly and feel nothing, but on others, after a couple hundred taps, something inside breaks open. An old feeling releases, a vision appears, a memory surfaces. Then you get it. This isn't exercise. It's a language, a code, an alchemy. Here are some key tips to make this practice part of your daily life and turn it into a tool for deep change. 1. Do it at the same time every day like a ritual. The body loves routine and the soul loves ceremony. Whether it's right after waking, before bed, or during a midday break, what matters isn't the exact time, but that this moment becomes sacred. 2. Do it with intention, not speed. Don't count mechanically. Don't rush to hit 1,000 like it's a workout challenge. This is devotion, not a contest. Feel each tap like an internal chime. You can add deep breaths, visualizations, or quiet pauses. The time you spend is a vibrational investment, not wasted. 3. Notice whatever comes up without judgment. Over time, this practice reveals deep layers of your being. Emotions, tensions, visions, or discomfort may arise. Don't reject them. Everything that surfaces was invited by the rhythm. It's part of the process. Remember, what the body lets go, the soul was ready to release. 4. Follow each session with silence. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Do nothing but listen. The tapping created a vibration and opened a field. Now the soul starts speaking, not in words but in feelings, pulses, and images. Learn to read your body's song after the drum. 5. Don't expect instant results. This is one of the biggest mistakes. Don't look for lights or mystical experiences right away. Sometimes the biggest shifts happen quietly, in a subtle change of thought or a decision you didn't dare make before. Energy transformation is like planting a seed, invisible at first, but inevitable in time. Remember, you're not just tapping your chest, you're awakening your temple. Each tap is a way of telling the universe, I'm ready to come back to myself. We're on a path that may seem physical but leads straight to the soul. What started as a simple gesture, a soft, steady tap over the chest, reveals itself as a spiritual technology hiding in plain sight. In a world overloaded with information, techniques, and quick-fix promises, this practice reminds us of something essential. The sacred isn't distant or complicated. It lives in the body, right here and now, in the ancient rhythm that connects us to the source of everything. You don't need any external initiation. You don't have to be an expert in chakras, neuroscience, or quantum energy. What you need is consistency, devotion, and inner listening. Tapping your chest 1,000 times a day isn't a trend or a rule. It's a way to remember that your body is a drum and you are the musician. The thymus, quiet as it seems, holds an original vibration. It's no accident that many cultures placed it symbolically in the spiritual heart, where compassion, divine will, and truth come together. When you activate it, you're not just exercising, you're calling forth awakening. This practice is also an act of rebellion, a quiet stand against forgetfulness. While the world pulls us outward, to screens, routines, and noise, you choose to turn inward and connect with an ancient, vibrant, elemental gesture. And there, in the space between each tap, you start to hear what's never said out loud. Your truth, your vibration, your strength. Remember, what doesn't vibrate falls asleep, and what doesn't move dies. That's why this sacred tap is more than movement. It's resurrection. Sure, there will be times when you feel tired, when you doubt, when your mind asks, why keep doing this? But that's exactly where the real energetic work begins, because just past that point, something gives way. Something trapped inside you begins to free itself, and you realize it wasn't just you tapping your chest, but your soul waking you up from within. So keep going, move with rhythm, make movement your mantra, tap not with force, but with reverence. Let each tap be a step toward your truth, and let that truth spread, clear, strong, unstoppable. Because when your highest energy wakes up, the world changes with you. Now I invite you to take the next step. Hit like if this practice touched something deep in you. Share this message with others on the path. Subscribe for more teachings that activate body, mind, and spirit. And comment, I tap my chest to awaken my soul. 1,000 taps, one path, one frequency, mine. If you've read this far, maybe you've already started to remember. The key was in your chest all along. It just needed rhythm.